Hey there again, YouTube. I promised a second installment of my collection overview videos, and it being a really stinking hot day here in Melbourne today, there'll be no skating. So now's as good a time as any to run you through the other rack. Starting at the top here, we'll start on the left-hand side with some of the my Kobe pickups. I have 3 pairs of the Kobe Elites. The highlight of these is definitely the Christmas release from 2014. This is a red, white, black, crimson release. The soul of that thing is just amazing. For those that haven't seen it, do check it out on the internet. Just an absolute cracker of a release and a real eye popper. Worn that a few times this year. Just a sick shoe. Moving across, we're heading into my everyday Jordan collection. Nothing particularly rare here. These are just really the ones that I like to wear day to day, and they're pretty much all retro releases here. We've got a Spizike Bordeaux at the top there. Heading across, we have the real top. This is probably the creme de la creme of this part of the collection. It's the Air Jordan 5 white grape release. This was re-released a year or so ago, I think. But this is the 2006 release of that colorway. Really sick shoe. Really love that. Worn it a few times. Jordan 4, this is the Olympic release. Heading down, we've just got some standard 7s and a 6 there as well. Heading on to the next shelf down, we're into the Nike Dunk High SBs and the Mid SBs. A couple of pairs of mids here. The highlight of the mids is probably the Aqua Fuel from 2007. Don't have a hell of a lot of mids. Just a couple of pairs of those. Then heading into the Dunk Highs, there's the Tiffany Highs. I don't have the lows for those that are going to ask, just the highs. There's an ugly Christmas sweater here. This was busted out last Christmas and will probably be done so again this year in a couple of days' time. Really cool design. That was the concepts design there. Heading across, you got the Metal Face Doom. There's a bit of a beat up box on that one. Won that a few times. Sick, really sick colorway. Metal Face Doom. There's the Tecate. That's a red and gold colorway from 2010 from memory. Really cool shoe. And then above that, the gold Costons. Heading down to the next shelf, we've got blazers. I've only got 3 pairs of blazers. Not a huge blazer collector. Bottom there's the Sub Pop. That's the yellow Sub Pop release of the blazer. Big music fan, so I had to pick that one up. And then right at the top, there's one I haven't worn yet. Been meaning to wear this one, but just haven't had a chance to bust it out yet. It's the silver and orange Indie Blazer. Sick shoe. Just need the right clothes to wear with that one. But that one's going to be busted out in the new year for sure. Moving on, we've got Paul Rodriguez Zoom Air High. This is a high version. This I bought this back in 2009, I think from memory, 2009. I could be wrong on that. I only worn that one a couple of times. Sick shoe though. And we're heading into more of the Nike basketball releases here. So you've got a 6.0 Encore High, sweet classic there. Few Air Flights, Condor, Air Flight Light, Falcons. Then moving down to one of my favourite releases, retro releases on the next shelf. This is the Air Force Max, originally released in not 2013. This is the retro release in 2013. Originally released in 1993. I wore that to death through my latter years of high school, but it's long since, the original pair's long since gone to sneaker heaven. When they re-released those a couple of years ago, I had to cop them. So yeah, that's the retro version of the Air Force Max. Really cool shoe. Originally released in 1993. Heading underneath those, got some Air Force 180 mids from a few years ago. Then heading into one of my favourite releases of the last 18 months or so. These are the Air Command Force re-releases. Originally released in, I think, 1989. It was re-released mid last year. What you're seeing in front of you is 2 of the 3 pairs that I have. There's the University Red there. And then underneath that is the original re-release, which was the white and green release. So really cool sneaker. Busted that out a few times since picking it up. Moving across, we have another of my favourite releases of the last couple of years, which is the Air Force One Riccardo Tisci. Now I have I guess you could call it, there were 4 different designs of this shoe that came out. There was a low, a mid, an ultra high and an ultra high, I'll call it. I have the ultra high version, and I have it in all three colorways. So I have it in the white, I have it in the black, and I have it in the beige, which you can't see here because I just haven't been able to squeeze it onto the racks. But a really cool shoe, and one that I've worn quite a bit over the last 12 months or so. Really cool box on that too, with the crowd waving. Yeah, really sick shoe. Moving to the next rack, to the next shelf underneath that, we're into my snowboarding boots. These are what I actually wear for boarding. I don't wear them for casual. For those that are going to castigate me for wearing them for casual, I don't do it. I wear them for boarding and boarding only, but I like to have a different colorway every time I go boarding. So what you're seeing there is 5 pairs of snowboarding boots, all of which are worn for boarding. Moving across now, we're heading into some of the Vans designs. So massive Vans fan. I love Vans, particularly the skate high versions. So what you're seeing in front of you here is really mostly all skate highs. If we just hone in on the first pile here, these are all super skate highs. So the super skate high has been taken off the market for now. I'm sure they'll re-release it at some point in time. But I have all the 3 available colorways I could get of those. So there's a black version. That's the one at the bottom. There's a checkerboard version, which is sick. Gets a lot of comments when you wear it, the checkerboard version. And then above that is the Fandango pink. That's also a real eye popper. So really ultra high design. The Super Skate High, big fan of that one. So yeah, hopefully they'll make some more colorways of that. Moving into the next pile, we have the Undefeateds. These are all skate high Undefeateds, and I have all of the colorways of that shoe. They did, I think, about 4 or 5 colorways of them. You can see one pair I don't have in the box. This is the Chicago Bulls colorway of that shoe. Just a really cool design. Really comfortable on feet too. But yeah, just a really sick design. Moving on, we have the Skate High LX here. This is the Vans Proper. So Vans Proper. This is a silver colorway. Really cool shoe. There's a purple version of that which I don't have. I just have the silver version of that one. Moving across, this is another really, in the corner here, this is another really rare release. This is the Skate High Ari Necropolis. This is a Supreme release of that shoe. A really cool graphic on the side of that one. That's the khaki colorway. There are several colorways of that shoe. I've only got the khaki one, but a really cool shoe, that one. Moving up, nothing particularly noteworthy here. These are just standard Vans releases that I liked at the time. There's a Spitfire collab there. Not a particularly rare shoe, but one I really liked. Moving on to the next row, standard skate high releases all along here. A couple that I would point out, a couple of collabs here. The first one is the Combat Zone. This was a Concepts joint release from Vans Concepts. Really sick shoe. Really sick shoe. And then underneath that, the Vans Blends. Geez, I need to dig this one out again. This collab is a zip version of the Skate High LX, but there's like a bones, skeleton bones on the side of it with the Vans logos in skeleton bones. Really cool shoe. Love that one. Really super finish on that. Vans Blends, got to dig that one out. Heading into the next column, we've got these are the Huffs. These are Skate High LX Huffs. I have 3 of the 4 colorways of those. The red one, the blue one, the black and yellow. I think there was a silver one as well. I don't have that one. But that's a really cool shoe. They're kind of like all satin finishes, those. Moving across, we're still in LX territory here. Got a couple of Disney releases and the Stussy 8-ball, black 8-ball there as well. Heading up, we're still in Vans here. There's a Grosso Vert Pro. That goes with an Era, which you can see here as well. So there's an Era and a Grosso. And then there's a Para as well. So Para did 3 releases, I think, with Vans. I've only got 2 of them. I didn't really like the Skate High version of that, but I love the Chukka boot. And I love the Era as well. So a couple of collections there in the Grosso and the Para as well. Heading across, a couple of standard pairs of the Authentics. You've got to have a pair of the Authentics. The two pairs I have are the black and leopard versions. There's a half cab in there. And then we're still back into skate highs here. There's the Beatles reissue, going back to my music bent. The Beatles collab, the Yellow Submarine there. That's a cool shoe. Then underneath that, another Supreme release. This is the Comme des Garçons black Harold Hunter print. This is a really cool shoe. I just picked up the red version of this actually. Amazing shoe, really love it. Comme des Garçons Supreme. And then underneath that, here's one that some of you out there might remember from 2009. This is the Owens High. This is a turquoise black release. I need to bust this one out again. I wore it a lot during 2009, but I haven't had that one out for a while. That's a nice shoe. And we're moving into one of the highlights of my collection in the next row here, which is my Vision streetwear collection. For those that know their skateboard shoe history, this is a shoe that originally came out in about 1987, the MC 14,000, also known as the DV8. The re-releases you're seeing on screen here are all from around about 2004, 2005. I have a video up already on the black colorway. But I also have the grey suede, and underneath that a white version as well of that shoe. That's just such an iconic skate shoe. Probably getting a bit old to wear these now, but just really sick. And I'm just really glad to have all those three colorways in the collection. Moving up to the next shelf again, we're heading into more specialist skate releases here. I've got a number of older pairs of Globes. Globes were massive in the late 90s. What you're seeing in front of you here is probably the more recent Globe releases from probably the 2009, 2011 periods. Superfly Volks mainly here, and they're mainly patent designs. There's a Culprit High, and then across here, the Secured D. I still see quite a few people walking around in the Mace High Secured D. This had a clear sole, a red shoe with a clear sole, and a really cool graphic along the side of it. But I have a number of other Globes from the late 90s, which I'll show in a later video actually, that are probably a bit more rare than what you're seeing here. These are, as I said, the more recent Globe releases. Moving on, Ease has obviously disappeared off the market, but been relaunched in recent times. What you're seeing here are a couple of models from the last tranche of Ease releases. I picked up a couple of pairs when I knew they were going off the market. So you're seeing the Tato version there. That's the Wolves collab. And then under that, a shoe that I feel probably should have been a bit, made a bit more of a noise when it came out in about 2008. It's the TT Deluxe version. The box on this is just amazing, but it reflects the etched laser design on the shoe itself. It's a really cool shoe. One that I don't know that they'll even re-release in the new configuration of Ease, but I'm just really glad to have a version of those TT Deluxes in the collection. It's a sick shoe, and if you're lucky enough to have also picked up a copy of that high top, then do hang on to it, because it's just one of those really iconic skate shoe brands with a release that I think was unique for its time. Moving on, we've got a Gravis, a couple of pairs of Circus, nothing majorly noteworthy in those. Moving across, we've got Etnies collection here. The highlight of this is probably the Rap High Shut collab. That's a gold colorway, that one, with red laces. A really cool shoe, that one. Moving up, we're heading into my Adidas collection. I'm sure you'll be meeting other people on YouTube who have got a hell of a lot more Adidas than me. I really just pick up the Adidas that I like. The bottom pairs here, this is basketball Centennial mids here. Heading up into a hardcourt high, nothing particularly rare in any of this. And then right at the top, there's a Campus Volk mid skate release. I haven't skated Adidas. I kind of just wear those Adidas there for cash. Moving across, we're heading into Reebok. This is my Reebok collection. These are all re-releases, so nothing original here. There's a Twilight Zone pump. This is the Steve Jobs white and silver Celebrate re-release. And then above that, some re-releases of the Shaq's I was a poor university student back in the mid-90s. I originally picked up a pair of the Shacknosis, which you can see the re-release at the top there, but I had to sell them. So when they re-released the Shacknosis in 2013, I had to pick up a copy of those. So what you're seeing there is the retro Shack release pumps from 2013. Moving across, and a high top collection wouldn't be complete without Radii. And what you're seeing here is the extent of my Radii collection. Again, they've taken the Strangler off the market for some reason. I thought it was a sick release. The colorways that you're seeing here are mainly the patent colorways, and the highlight probably here is the white, black, gold. That's a sick shoe and really stands out. But they've kind of toned down their act a bit, Radii. They've gone more towards the low tops in recent times. So I'm glad to have some of those Stranglers in the collection. Moving down to the floor here, I'm just going to, what you're seeing in front of you here is some new pickups that I haven't had a chance to put away. So I'm just going to move those out of the way for now and focus in on what's on the floor here. I've got a few standard stray releases here. There's a couple of creative recreation. And then there's a Deckline release. Now, for those that know their skate shoes, they probably know who Deckline is. They're probably mainly, they've toned down their act since this shoe came out, but this came out in around about 2007. It's the Buona Spoons Sixer colorway. This is an amazing colorway of a shoe. It really stands out. I really should dig this out again. This is the thing with doing these things. You realize how much you don't wear, but this shoe is one of those just absolute eye poppers that Deckline probably won't do again. They've gone back more towards low cut black shoes. But this one here is just a really cool, sick design. So again, for those that have that Deckline Sixer Buona Spoons, look, good on you, because it's just a fantastic release. I really need to dig that one out again. Heading up, we have an eye path there. That's the Fred Gore from about 2008. Puma, nothing special on that. The Contage. Now, this was a custom design. This was really popular in Australia in around about 2007. I have a couple of versions of this shoe. The version you're seeing here is the Houndstooth white and black version. Really made a big splash over here in Australia in 2006, 2007. Glad to have those in the collection. And above those, to end the video, we've got my old school Adii release. Adii. I'm thinking Radii now. This is audio. My mistake. Audio. These are my audio Jeremy Rays. These were about 2006, 2007 vintage. What you're seeing on screen here is a low top design. But moving on above that, I don't have the box for these. I lost the box for these. You can see through the bag here. This is the high top design of the Jeremy Ray version 4. This is red, as you can see. Just a really cool sneaker. Anyway, guys, that's it for this video. I was hoping to get to some of the more premium designs this video, but I've taken longer than I thought. Too many shoes to try and work through there. But that's the second rack. You'll see some skateboard decks on the wall there. They are both Mark Gonzalez there. Big fan of Crooked. Love his artwork. I skate their decks, but I couldn't bring myself to skate the ones that you see on the wall there. Anyway, look, there's going to be another couple of videos which will go through some of the premium stuff in my collection, and also some of the really rare stuff from the late 90s. So if you're into your skate shoes and you're impressed with what you've seen so far, then do stick around for the next couple of installments of my collection. But I hope you enjoyed today's journey through the second rack. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you're enjoying seeing some models that perhaps you haven't seen in other YouTube videos. We'll catch you next time. Take care all.